Hey y'all, Coach in the Fight here on September the 17th in the year 2023. And we want to go ahead and do our new moon report for the sixth sacred month in the year 2023. That's right, we're on Elul 1 on September the 17th. Um, because we have not reached the Enoch's 182nd day of the year yet. So we are still in summertime. This new moon will be the second month of Elul, or depending on how you count it. But either way, we are in the sixth month and not the seventh month. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because people want to know when the Sabbath day is. Now, the Sabbath days change quarterly. We understand now that the Sabbath days change quarterly based on the information that we get from Leviticus chapter 23, and particularly the Feast of Pentecost. When you do the calculation on the Feast of Pentecost correctly, it's only one way that the Sabbath days and the days of Pentecost will line up perfectly, and that's if you calculate your Sabbath days quarterly, not monthly. Let me see. Let me finish this, and I may go over and look at Enoch. We're talking about the Sabbath days here, and those who want to know when the Sabbath day is, we have to go back to the first new moon in the quarter. That would be the first new moon after the 91st day of the Enoch year, should I say the tropical year, which starts on March the 20th in the year 2023. And so from March the 20th, we count 91 days and look for the first new moon. We'll see it to appear on or about June the 18th, making June the 19th the first day of the month, and the first day of the season. Now, it's important to understand that that's the first day of the season, because then we count 8 days later, and that puts us on June the 26th, which is a Monday, as the Sabbath day. So the way this would work then is that the Sabbath days for the entire quarter will start on Sunday evenings and will last until the day ends there on Monday. So the Sabbath days for the quarter are Sunday to Monday. Now, I know a lot of you guys are scandalized behind this. We didn't do our new moon, quarterly new moon report back there in June. If you remember, well, we did the new moon report, but what we did not do was we did not update this printable calendar. And it reminds me, this may be the last time you see this printable calendar because of these errors that we've been talking to you guys about. The reason why we do not sell these calendars, we don't even like to give them away, is because they are error prone. And you guys who were around back there in June saw the debacle there in June. Anyway, so, but the thing is, okay, so I say all of that to say, okay, we went, my family and I went most of this quarter on the wrong day. And I'm going to tell you how it happened. Back on June the 19th, this is my testimony part. Praise our Father in heaven. Back on June the 19th, you remember we did videos talking about the moon sighting coming unexpectedly, and all of that. We went through to prove that it was actually verified, even though we didn't expect it. We went on to prove that it was actually correct. And so we went on with that. The thing about it, we were on vacation. Our family was on vacation at that time. We were actually in West Virginia on June the 19th. And so we actually did not get to see the new moon for ourselves, and we did not get to blow the trumpet on the right day back then, June the 19th. Okay, so that's one thing. But then what happened is we continued on the vacation there in West Virginia, and my wife wanted to be in and out of D.C. by July 4th. So we stayed as long as we could in West Virginia, and then we eventually made it to D.C. The thing about it, by the time we got to D.C., we still had not updated this document and had not updated the Sabbath day. So there we was on about June the 27th, and Chris and I were working and doing work on my mother's house. That's where we were doing, that's what he and I were doing primarily up until that point. We're fixing people's houses and stuff. We do anyway, charitable stuff. But anyway, so on that day, Christian comes to me and says, Dad, isn't it the Sabbath day? And I did not verify or anything. I took his word for it. But what I was taking his word for was the same Sabbath day that we had been on before June the 19th, which was Wednesday. And so, in other words, we kept on the Wednesday Sabbath day. It should have changed to Sunday, but we mistakenly stayed on the same Sabbath day all the way down until last week. It was as we started doing the updates for the upcoming month, for this upcoming month, that we go in and start looking at this document. And did we realize that the Sabbath days were Monday and not Wednesday? And so on September the 11th, actually before September the 11th, back, about September the 8th or so, I decided that we were going to have 2 Sabbath days in that week, and we was going to get back on the track onto the Monday Sabbath. So we had a Sabbath on Wednesday, and then we came back again and had one on Monday. Now, here's the thing. We were in a drought at that point, an unexplainable drought, because our family hasn't experienced much drought since we've been here on the homestead. There was a drought here back in like 2015. Very severe drought that lasted for about 6 months. We got no rain whatsoever here for about 6 months back then, back 2015. And then we started getting rain again in 2016. And since then, we haven't seen any droughts whatsoever. It should be noted that 2015, the calendar was off. And so now I'm sitting here thinking about that drought in 2015 would have been caused by the calendar being off, I believe. We have to look at 2015, but I do remember there being a drought in this area here, because I remember how the bees were coming to the outside water faucet to drink water, like they were coming to the faucet to drink water. And it was like, whoa, it must be a real drought out there if they have to, come to my spigot to get water. But anyway, we haven't seen anything like that until this year. And giving my testimony now, I didn't actually get back into town until sometime around August 18th. I can't remember the exact day. But we have been gone for 2 months. And that should be noted too, is that you guys may have been telling me that I was wrong and that I was off, but I was on vacation and I wasn't answering any emails or comments or anything. I wasn't doing anything as far as, comments. For 2 months, I didn't answer any comments. I didn't make any replies, or I barely did any emails. And the only reason why I did emails was because I was trying to produce a video or two while I was up there, and I basically had a recording that I could choose, that I could go into my email and get it. But other than that, I didn't check any emails. So if you guys were trying to tell me that I was off and wrong, I did not know it. So when I got back, a drought started. Christian and Stacy can confirm that when I got back in town, our area started in a drought, and we were in a severe, or not a severe drought. I think I can't remember exactly what it said, but we was in the orange as far as our little area is concerned of a drought. It's like a circle was around our house, and then and we only got probably 1 day of rain, maybe 1 or 2 days of rain since I've been back. And that was, about August, the middle of August. And here we was the middle of September, and things were really hot. But the thing is, on September the 11th, we had the Sabbath day. And then on September the 12th, we got about 1.5 inches of rain. And since September the 12th, we have been getting clouds and or rain every day since we got back on a Sabbath day. And to me, that's a long story, I know. But to me, that shows the importance of getting the Sabbath day right, because we were doing it on the wrong days. We were still doing the Sabbath day. And you know me, I've expressed what the Third Testament says about us being able to rest on any day. Any day we can rest and pray. But the thing about this here, you have the Lord's Sabbath day, the day we are expected to, and seems like he's having respect of days here, and that we have to keep his Sabbath day on the correct day as far as, and if we want rain, if we want these, we want these blessings, they're not coming to me, they're not seem to be coming if we do them based on what I'm experiencing here. I mean, I can go back to 2015 and say that I was off on the calendar then too, just like everybody else was, and that was the reason for the drought, and the reason why I personally was in a drought here in this place. Like I said, it was a spot around my area, my house, almost, was because I was off in this and in this thing. And you say, well, how can you cause a drought in your area? Well, the thing is, this week it still says a drought, and we've been getting rain for a week. So it's not so much as the area as a whole. It's your individual land. I'm getting rain, but the neighbor is not. So he's still in a drought. I mean, I could go a mile up the road, a mile and a half up the road. When we're in a rain, when we just got rain and it's raining here, I can go a mile up, a half up the road, and the roads are dry. They never got a drought. And so I believe the reason why is because we're serving our Father on his correct days, and that's important to understand. And so the Sabbath days are Mondays now, guys. And like I said, I understand the ones that are scandalized by this. But I also say, guys, if anybody wants to help serve this channel as a Levi, if anybody want to serve this channel as a Levi, send me an email. There's many positions available, many ways you can help us out, and even non-Levi's can help too. But the Levi's responsibility is to observe these new moons, and get us on track.